Okay, that's dope. All right, let's talk a bit about the glasses.
Yeah.
When did you start building these? And
Yeah, I'll go ahead and put them on.
yeah,
All right, you guys. So these are the Better Boost Smart Tech glasses. Okay, we call it Super Tech specifically. So the reason why we call it Super Tech is because Shaquille O'Neal is one of our Founders Club members. And of course, Shaquille O'Neal, a basketball player. As you guys probably already know, he's also known as Superman. And so how that connection originally started, so I literally just reached out to him, DM'd him with my pitch deck.
Okay.
And then he got back to me and was like, yeah, I want some of the products. He ordered 4 of our products. I'm not gonna get into those details.
Yeah.
However, bottom line is this is Super Tech. So what this does is smart translation, AI navigation, so you'll never ever get lost again, an AI assistant, and of course the prompting feature. So this means that if you have a speech, if you are a content creator, then no one's gonna be able to tell that you're actually utilizing these glasses.
Yeah.
So our goal would be to provide this technology to the people that need it most. So there's a lot of problems, for example, in the healthcare space, to where there are experts that don't necessarily speak the language. They rely on spending a lot of money on individuals that are going to be translators or programs, etc.
Yeah.
And so this would come in as the ultimate solution, not just for the individual, but also potentially to scale at a bigger, higher level as well.
Hey, what's up, fam? This is Saul Levy, host of Africa's in Tech, where we're building bridges and shaping futures in tech. On our pod today, we got Ashley Madison, right?
Robinson.
Robinson, oh my God. Ashley Robinson. Ash and I know basically almost everybody on my that's been on my pod knows Ash in some shape or fashion. They're like, oh yeah, you know Ash? I'm like, yeah. So the first time I actually saw, I guess, you on a pod or on an event, I think it was with Cyrus with, Texas New Black. I was like, she's so excited about AI and just kind of like everything that's cutting edge with it. So I was like, man, I got to get on the pod. So
Yes.
Thank you for, coming through, Ash.
Of course, it's my honor and pleasure.
Thank you. So generally what I ask people to do, just do a general intro, nothing technical, just, who you are, and go from there.
Of course. Well, again, happy to be here, everyone. My name is Ashley Robinson. I'm an AI solution specialist and also the CEO and founder of Better Boost, a wearable technology startup. I'll go ahead and do a little preview for you here. These are the glasses that I'll be showing you later in the pod.
Nice. Awesome. Cool. So let's start from the beginning.
Let's do it.
Where are you from?
Well, I was raised in a military family. I was born in South Carolina, Charleston, and I moved around a lot. So we're talking North Carolina, Virginia, and I spent the majority of my childhood on a tiny little island off the coast of Alaska called Kodiak, Alaska.
Kodiak, Alaska. Okay. This is probably ignorant. Kodiak bears, is that?
Yes.
Okay.
You know it, yeah.
Okay, so there's literally Kodiak bears?
There is.
Wow, okay. Was that scary?
Honestly, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice little adventure.
Okay.
I love adventure.
Okay, gotcha. Are you just the only child, or you got siblings?
I do have a sister.
Okay, older, younger?
Younger sister, yes.
Okay, gotcha. And how long were you in Alaska for?
I was in Alaska for 5 years.
Okay.
During those pivotal years.
Wow. Okay. So what age?
I would say like grades more so. So like starting 5th grade into like high school.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. And then where after that?
And so after that, after coming back from Alaska, actually went to Somerville, Cane Bay High School. And then after high school, I went to Winthrop University, majored in psychology, minored in human resource management.
Shout out.
And shout out to them. And then after that, I went straight into grad school. So I got my master's from Purdue University in human resource management at 23. And essentially after that, I went into agency recruiting. So that means I would essentially get paid based on each placement.
Gotcha.
So that was a great baseline experience.
Okay. And what did your parents do?
So my mother's in the healthcare field, father's military.
Okay. Was anybody in tech at all?
No.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so we're definitely gonna get to that. All right.
We'd love to do that.
All right. So in high school, what were you interested in?
Oh man, I can't lie. I was a super nerd in high school.
Okay.
I was that kid that would eat lunch by themselves and would eat lunch in the library.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
Okay,
believe it or not.
Yeah.
So I was into reading a lot, learning, anime, of course.
Yeah. You already know.
Shout out to Naruto.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's weird because we're kind of second off a little bit. Being like nerdy is a cool thing now. Like
Right.
back in the day, bruh, everybody used to hate you when you used to talk about like, anime and stuff like
Seriously.
that. But now everybody's talking like AOT, Attack on Titan, and all that other stuff.
Right.
Like, bro, like that's like so old.
Right, right. Yeah, for real. Now they want to hop on the wave.
Exactly, But yeah, I'm glad that people are accepting it now. It's what I used to, I used to be like a jock slash like nerd, but I didn't show up my nerd side just because like I thought it was uncool.
Right.
But then once I started showing out, a couple of my boys who play ball too, they're like, bro, yeah, I used to love that joke. I'm like, come on, man. I used to play chess and everything, but I used to keep it
Okay.
under wraps. But
Yeah.
it just became like a cool thing now to talk about like your nerdy side and stuff. So
Yeah,
I'm
for
really
real.
loving it, man. Nerd out.
Yeah, for real.
Okay. So what things were you in? I know you said you like anime and stuff like that, but did you do any like clubs or anything like that?
Yeah, great question. I was also into sports. I played tennis. I was a captain of the tennis team, as a matter of
Okay.
fact.
Okay.
And I was on the track team. I ran hurdles
Okay.
and the 200 and the 400.
Okay. What was your times?
I don't even remember. I was way back in the day.
Got you. And then high school wise, in South Carolina, how was that like?
Uh, um, that was a great experience. I would say like as being a nerd, like I can't lie, I was bullied in high school.
Oh man. Man.
Yeah,
Okay.
since I was that nerdy kid, but
Yeah.
but it wasn't so bad.
Okay.
You gain strength from all that experience.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you're doing it up now, so
Thank you.
please be aware.
Yeah.
Okay, so transition to like Winthrop. Like, what made you go to Winthrop?
Well, I applied to a couple different schools. So there was Winthrop, USC, but Winthrop was kind of the one that caught my attention.
Okay.
I would say that was a great experience because we were able to meet people from all around the world. There are people that I'm still friends with today, France, Italy, and the best people.
Yeah.
And so just that immersive experience of like learning and being around people of different backgrounds,
Yeah.
unmatched. Also, Purdue had the same experience as well. So.
Okay. What made you go to Purdue from Winthrop?
A great question. Purdue not only is an excellent school and program, but it's also kind of a challenge. It was all the way in West Lafayette, Indiana. I would have to say it was probably one of the most challenging times of my life, having to like adapt. I grew up in Alaska, so it was cold and snowy. We had to trudge through the, ice and snow to class. But an exceptional experience. I would say that it made me who I am today.
Gotcha. Your dad was Coast Guard, you said, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then how was that like traveling? Because for me, I was military brat. If people don't like that word, I'm sorry, but my dad was military and we travel a lot.
Yes.
I was used to the kind of what's the word? Being displaced, I guess, or being transitioned for every 3 years, like we'll move or whatever. So I was used to that life a little bit.
Right.
But was that something that you got comfortable with? Because like friends and all that other jazz, was that?
Man, great question again. I'll have to say that it gives you a worldly view, which is a benefit because you're able to adapt quickly.
Yeah.
I like to say that the best skill that you can possibly have in this era is to adapt quickly, since obviously things are moving so quickly. I really can't complain. I would also say that it was definitely a challenge as a young kid to have to be in immersive environments around people that don't necessarily look like you or think like you, especially in Alaska. However, I would have to say that it's an unmatched experience because again, like it contributed to the abilities that I do have today to adapt and to be able to communicate with different types of people.
Definitely. So diversity a little bit. How many Black people were there
in Alaska? I can't lie, I was the only one for a long time.
Dang,
only
for real?
one.
Okay.
Only one for all those years. And then there was another that came in who was a male. And so that was pretty much it.
Wow. Dang.
Yeah.
Okay. So South Carolina was a big difference then.
It was very much so. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So going, I guess, to Purdue then. What'd you study again?
At Purdue, I studied
Purdue.
human resource management.
Okay. So why that?
That's another great question. So I went through just my major in psychology and then the minor in human resource management. I kind of had this idea of the essentials that you would need to succeed in the future. And so the bottom line was, okay, psychology. You need to know how people's minds work, how they process, but also the business component. So I saw that HR was kind of a combination of both. And so I didn't necessarily see myself going into like a generalist, type of area. And so this is when I started off with agency sales. And so my specialty was actually in tech recruiting. So starting off with like mechanical engineers all the way up to software engineers eventually. But this experience allowed me to then pivot into a big four company, which is called PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I'm very familiar with the big four. That's dope.
Nice.
I mean, everything that you've done with like your background kind of leads to like what you're doing now. Because, with your recruiting experience, meeting, interacting with a lot of people, and then also from sales perspective, that's also important. And then with AI kind of mixing to psychology, like being number one, like how people think from a prompt standpoint, how to answer those things, like all that's kind of leading to like what you're doing now. So that's dope.
Yeah, and you're seeing how all of the pieces are coming together, because that's a great point of psychology and the linguistics of things and just how it ties to prompt engineering. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about that. When did you decide that? Because I know you did a little bit of recruiting from like a mechanicals. Well, you said engineering in general.
Yes.
When did you decide I'm gonna get into tech and do it like full time?
Love this question. Okay, so all right, let's start from the beginning. So we, of course, we're at, the agency side, then started off at PwC. And so PricewaterhouseCoopers invested $2.4 billion into their employee workforce to train them in AI. This was a couple of years back. And so essentially this ranges from everything to optimizing efficiencies to, of course, ethics. And so essentially I took all of my training and I ran.
What year was this?
This, 2022, 23, 21.
The reason I say it because Deloitte and like a few other like big four, they did the exact same thing. So I might have been matching suit with that. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. So go ahead. Sorry.
So the bottom line is they invested into their workforce. And so essentially at this time, I was already kind of into AI. And I do have to be honest on like where I started off and like how I was testing it. So as a creative, I was actually like prompting and creating images. So I had like different themes, like anime themes, or like, just like little creative things that I would do. I created like a artistic page. And so like that trained me with prompting. And so that was very, very beneficial when they decided to actually invest in that official training at PwC.
That's
and
awesome.
So it all came together.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you have any like mentors at the time that helped you kind of transition?
Yes, I would have to say PwC is one of the best organizations in the world that you can possibly work for. The reason why is because they are highly inclusive, but also very innovative. So these guys are at the forefront and they're willing to take the time to make sure that you understand and are able to properly apply it. But PwC, what they do best is solutions. So it also helped me to be able to reframe my tactic and skills and how I can transition into becoming that AI solutions consultant and specialist.
Okay. So as an org, that makes sense. But like, did you have like individuals that you can kind of look up to?
Oh yeah. I don't want to shout. I don't want to like give them their full government names, but one of them, her name was Vanessa. And she's an incredible leader, and she, I would have to say, for the entire team, she made sure that all of us, felt appreciated and supported.
That's awesome. And the reason I also asked that, for specifics, is it's another woman that's helping guide you, because a lot of my guests that have been on the pod have talked about not having like mentors, especially in the tech space. And it's really good to hear that you got that at PwC. Because unfortunately, there's others that I think have been on working for other big four orgs that haven't got that. So I always like to shout out organizations that make that a forefront. So
shout out to PwC.
Okay, so you did the training with PwC, and how long was the training for, the workforce training?
So the training was for like So I left around year 2
Okay.
after I got that training.
Gotcha.
They implemented the training like a little bit before, but
Okay.
then our particular department. So I want to be very transparent of like where I started off at. So
Yeah.
like I was a senior associate. That was my official role title, and so I was a tax recruiter.
Okay.
So like we're talking like accounting and finance.
Gotcha.
And so I did have to take the time to be able to learn what the requirements were. I used my experience as an agency recruiter for hiring software, mechanical engineers.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Okay. No, that's awesome. Yeah, I think it's good to also mention like the transition phase, because in this microwave, society, everybody wants, get it, a certification or do a boot camp, and all of a sudden, like you get this 6-figure job. It's like, no, this takes time. You got to learn and grow into it. So
absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about the challenges of learning something completely different.
Yes.
What was that like for you?
Oh man. Well, I have to say I love a challenge.
Okay.
I love a challenge. So I took it head on, and I would have to say that just like the military experience also helped with that. So it's just like, okay, like we see something that may be, issue that we can tackle, but we're able to come to a solution quickly and efficiently. You understand that as a military individual. So I would have to say that the process is definitely going to take some time, but the bottom line is you're going to have to build your portfolio with tech and AI. So that's hands-on experience. And so hands-on experience at the Big Four company, it made it pretty easy.
Yeah, that's huge. Was there like how did you, because I know somebody's going to ask this, how did you utilize your resume or your skill sets from a completely different field and then utilize that to transition to what you're doing now? Because your guy was here, Hector, he was here, Horse, I say Hector, Horse, he was here 2 weeks ago, Big Tech Money.
Yeah.
And he's talking about like AI and using, I think, Big Tech Money AI Tutor to basically structure your old resume and grab your skills that you use there for a sales job. So how did you do that? Because a lot of people ask that, like, I'm a teacher. How do I now get into like sales? How do I get into like engineering?
Absolutely. So your network is going to be really important. So obviously when you're building a portfolio, they see the experience that you have and they can show, okay, now you have real world application. However, we can't discount the power, especially in tech, of your network. So what I did was connect with many different individuals that were already at that level, that were doing what I was doing. And so essentially my main focus was kind of like prompt engineering. Like what do prompt engineers do? And so my specialty is generative AI. So from a marketing context, I could come in and be able to essentially like build automations or hyper realistic avatars or images for different businesses. And that's kind of like my area of specialty.
Gotcha. Okay, that's dope. Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback off of like utilizing your network, me getting into tech was the same way. Like I did a Linux boot camp, and then I've done some other stuff in tech prior, but I didn't really consider it tech, I guess, like building sites, websites, and things like that. But when I did the boot camp, I had a friend named Yanu who had a startup at the time, and I was basically asking him, like, give me any and everything tech related that you can throw at me. I'll do it for free. And then he gave it to me, and then I learned like about like MapReduce. I learned like different concepts with like databases, learning like general security architectures, things like that. And I used that to get my first job. So for any of you who have friends who are in the tech space, especially folks like with startups and are trying to build their businesses, volunteer your time. Like literally volunteer your time to learn different applications and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, helps out a lot.
Yes, I love this. And I will also have to say that I also kind of started off with that type of mindset. And so I took like, Hello World, the basic CS Harvard courses.
CS50, baby.
So that's where I gained like, okay, like let's learn how to code. Let's learn how to truly build some things. So I learned applicable skills with Python, and so we could actually program. And so like programming, as we know, things are changing. So it used to be, computer programming language. Now it's prompting. And so it was a pretty easy transition.
100%, 1,000% agree with that. I did a CS50 bootcamp stuff with, I did on YouTube. So they had a free course, like literally on YouTube. It was, I think, a 4 hour, like four 4-session thing, and literally I just watched the videos, and they literally went through example by example, did Scratch and all that other stuff. Like, really simple, and it's free. Like
Right.
it's all free. And with ChatGPT, like a lot of that stuff from prompt engineering standpoint, you can learn all that stuff free.
Exactly.
So, you know, you just gotta put in the effort. You know.
Exactly.
You know, it's you put in what you're gonna get out of it. So.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk a bit about like getting like your foot in the door, because you got these skill sets, but like getting your foot in the door. You said it's easy, but what did you do to kind of get your foot in?
Hey, I would have to say definitely the to get my foot in the door was definitely not easy. I would say that like the skills transition, just because it was like a building process, was easier.
Right.
So I would say that I started off with our internal networks, you know, people here in Atlanta, people that are doing this, the community. I started off there.
Nice.
People who can understand the way that you think, people that understand your process, and I learned from them. So I think, you know, just understanding that you're kind of like a beginner and offering value up front. So like, okay, well, like you did, what can I build for you? And starting there, and then, you know, it's pretty easy to transition after you have that portfolio of business.
Definitely, 100%. How'd you reach out to these folks? Was it like through LinkedIn?
LinkedIn.
Or okay.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of people have said that before, and I think it's common. LinkedIn's still an easy way to go. Like, you can literally go on people's pages and say, hey, connect. I love what you're doing.
Yes.
You have time. Some people answer you, some people won't. But at the end of the day, it's like, shoot your shot.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's worth it, especially when you have somebody that's local and you can go there for like 30 minutes, go offer free services, or, you know.
Yes.
There's not a lot of people who's going to turn that down, I'll tell you that.
For sure, for sure.
So, all right, cool. So you got some, you know, help along the way, and then you got your first gig. What was your first actual role?
So my first role was technically a generative AI engineer.
Okay.
So it was through a healthcare company. So essentially they were looking for somebody who could build chatbots for them.
Okay.
So I built a personal chatbot, but
Nice.
also the AI interactive avatar for them.
Okay.
So this is to help personalize this entire experience, because as we know, especially in the healthcare field, you want to be able to, you know, first and foremost, we had to be able to learn how to leverage advanced AI frameworks.
Okay.
So like RAG, or implementing, for example, I would say like healthcare policies, HIPAA. We want to make sure that all of the data is going to be included to protect the clients and customers. But the bottom line was just like an interactive AI avatar that was able to produce solutions via a chatbot system.
Nice.
So that's kind of like where I started. I started with a stealth startup.
Okay.
So it was low key. I couldn't even talk about it up front. But after I left that organization, now we're kind of focusing on creating more significant change. So, you know, reaching out, communicating with local governments and trying to make an impact.
Gotcha. Your role, is it code heavy, or is it more like, is it code heavy?
I would have to say what I'm doing now definitely is a lot less code heavy.
Okay.
But the baseline is always going to be there, and it's always going to be valuable. So sometimes if I do have to like hands-on build something like a system, then I'm able to do that. But the good news is that with automations these days, all you have to really do is prompt it.
No, that's dope. Because a lot of people are going to ask, like, you know, I don't really want to learn code per se. I don't really want to like learn Java, Python, whatever. So I think so many. Is that a language? Don't quote me on this one. There's so many different languages coming out now, but they want to know like what are the different areas I can get into from an AI perspective that's not coding heavy, whether it's from architectural builds, even from prompt engineering standpoint, like N8, for instance. For those who don't know, N8's like you can build agents where like you can do workflows. Like, hey, I get an email. This email has this verbiage. You know, do something with it.
Right.
That's not code heavy. You just gotta tell it what to do, and then you can do that with ChatGPT. What's the other one? Claude or whatever. And they can build all that stuff for you, but you don't have to necessarily know how to code to do that.
Right.
You know, but what are, I guess, some other areas that's non-code heavy that you would recommend for like people who want to get into?
Oh man, so I would say we're not going to be able to completely get away from the code. However, if you do want to get into AI, there are certain areas that you may not have to rely on coding for. So as we mentioned, prompt engineering, okay, it's flexible there with automations, but there's also different areas like AI consulting or AI ethics and regulation, which is going to be huge. So I would say the more personable industries and sectors or positions, they're going to be kind of less technical. However, most roles in tech, so we're talking the AI engineers, data science, obviously,
No, definitely. And then I think you just brought up a really good point with AI ethics and stuff, because let's say from a social perspective, like for those who've been in that space, you know all the regulations, the policies, and things like that. So you're gonna have an advantage to somebody else that doesn't know that. So now, if all you need to do is learn how these systems are being automated and how AI is being used, you know, you can probably put yourself, you know, a little bit up on a pedestal versus someone who's just coming in and have to learn what compliance regulations are needed for your institutions or whatever it is that you're doing. So that's definitely something I recommend. There's a guy that asked me today, actually, or this morning. I gotta get his name again, but he basically was saying he wanted to get into program management. He has no experience in tech, so there's areas where you do have to manage people who build these systems. So you can manage programs and manage products even. So that's also, you know, a different area as well.
That's right. That's right. I do have to shout out tech sales as another opportunity to 100. Where you don't have to, you know, I don't even have to code at all, really.
What do you see like in terms of like AI and like sales? Do you think? Because to me, like, I'll be honest, when I call tech support or whatever it is, and I get an AI agent, I'm like, nah, get me to the agent right now. And then similar from a sales perspective, if I'm trying to buy something, I'm trying to buy from an individual. A person I want to hear somebody's voice that I can chat with and intonation of their voices or whatever. I want to hear somebody know that they're human. What do you see? How far do you think it is from like AI taking over from a sales perspective?
Oof. So I would have to say that complete saturation of like AI is going to be speaking to individuals for sales 100% is a couple years away. However, we're already seeing it. Like I'm going this morning for breakfast during the drive-through, you know what I'm saying? It was an AI person, you know? So like customer service, but specifically for like sales. If you're closing specifically, like you said, most people are going to want that human to human contact. However, the bottom line for most businesses, of course, they're trying to cut their bottom line, which is cost.
100.
So it does make a lot of sense on the back end, but on the front end, we also find that a significant percentage of CEOs or business owners actually regret completely, you know, letting go their AI work or letting go their workforce and replacing it with AI. So that also has to be considered. We need to focus on the humanity of it all because let's be real, next year we're coming up on super intelligence. We know how Sam Altman or Elon Musk are building multi-billion-dollar data centers and facilities. And so with that, there's going to be a lot of jobs and opportunities, but also this means that the individual is going to be at perhaps a little bit of an advantage because we're going to, you know, everyone's going to be losing their jobs, of course, because the skill set is going to be really important. So people are going to need to learn the skills in order to be able to work at these data centers. But also, you know, the data centers are negatively impacting the environment in many different ways. So if we're living in these areas, particularly in Atlanta, then we're seeing, you know, a give and a take.
So I have a thing with Sam and all these guys that talk about like ASI and stuff. I'm like, and they might be probably smarter than me and all this other stuff, but it's like ASI next year is wild, bro. Like I'm like,
it's crazy.
ASI next year is wild. Like to match. So for those who don't know, artificial superintelligence, do you want to tell them, or I can tell whichever one?
So I guess we could start off. So I'll start with artificial general intelligence. So artificial general intelligence is an AI that matches the capacity of a human being. We're talking about AI that can execute tasks like a doctor or a lawyer. And the bottom line is super intelligent surpasses human intelligence. So this means that they're going to be a lot smarter than human beings. And the future is where they're going to be integrating this intelligence into your cars or robots. And so ethics is going to need to be the priority here.
Because I'm just thinking, at this stage right now, because a lot of our stuff, like when you look at like the AI we use now, whether it's Model 4 or whatever Cloud uses, like at the end of the day, like a lot of that stuff is programmed off of stuff that we're feeding into the systems algorithms, and some of it's like you've seen it where it's learning stuff that people are like, I don't even know how it's able to deduce that. So there's things that are, I forget what the term is called, but where the AI is basically learning things that humans aren't able to like decipher. But to get to a point where it's ASI, it's like that, you start thinking about like robots and, Terminator type, life, like it can be scary,
Yeah.
because at this stage, if you have to make a determination of like what's wrong with the world and how things are going left in so many areas, humans are like we're the center of it all, right?
Yeah, indeed.
So, to me, I'm not saying fear AI, but I'm saying that if ASI, if we're saying that that's going to be next year, where it can basically think faster and process things a lot more, what's the word? What's the word I want to use here? A lot better. Maybe let's just make it simple.
I like that.
Then we can. That to me, it makes me concerned because we're not there yet, even from a general security perspective now. Because I'm in the cyberspace right now, so we're not there yet. So
Yeah.
now we're introducing a new system that we have no control, no bounds on, and it's just kind of running amok.
That's
and
right.
that to me, that's a scary place to be.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And you are the expert, so you know better than anybody where we're at today.
Yeah.
And so it is very concerning for a few different reasons. So, we have different AI organizations. There's ChatGPT, OpenAI with Sam Altman, and then there's Grok. So the bottom line is that the United States has AI that is deregulated, decontrolled.
Yeah,
so if something was to go wrong, then it's going to go very wrong to where we're talking, iRobot,
fast.
Terminator.
Very
Yeah,
fast,
exactly,
yeah. Yep.
exactly. So, it's definitely going to be interesting, but I think it's going to be very important for all of us to take action in certain ways. So, number one, you got to start with yourself, as they say. Put the mask on if you're in an airplane. Put your mask on self by learning AI skills, by upskilling, by training yourself to learn how to use these systems, but also building our own businesses and organizations.
Yeah.
So around this technology, so that we're not all going to be controlled by a huge monopoly that's trying to take over the future.
Yeah, definitely. And we're talking on Africans in Tech podcast, and one of the things that I'm really appreciative of, because I know we've been talking kind of negatively, depending on how you look at it, on AI, but the positives, I think, to me, at least at this stage, far outweigh the negatives, just because I literally probably say this on every podcast. Africa is, as a continent as a whole, we're about 50% internet penetration. So
Shout out to Africa.
when we get to a point where we're like 80 to 90%, and I was talking to a Big Papa Code author about this, when we get to like 80% saturation, like that's going to be insane because the number of businesses, the, of course, economy that's going to be circling around that. And then also when you start looking at, all right, saturation from like a network perspective, bandwidth wise. Now we start pushing. Of course, they're doing it right now with SpaceX and whatever now. But now we're really going to start pushing up north. When I mean up north, like going to like Mars and those places. But in order to do that, people got to understand, like to your point, how are we going to do that with AI? How are we going to do that in terms of like being logical about it, using ethics, like who gets to go,
right?
Who gets the benefits of these things? And I think for me, Africa's been left behind. So we're, I guess, maybe second or third industrial right now. The U.S. West / China, they're going into the fourth, industrial. And my hope is that we're not left behind, and that's why I'm hoping that AI can help bring that, to fruition. I think that's the only way, to be honest, that we can catch up much faster. So
yes, I'm so glad you said this, because I have to say, Africa is the future. You know it, we all know it. But here's why, okay? Number one, they have the youngest demographic, okay, and the most populous. So beyond that, there are different companies that are investing into Africa to provide these AI tools to help them to build businesses, or of course to, just improve the quality of life. So, Microsoft's doing a whole other thing, but Sam Altman, OpenAI, is also investing to bring LLMs to the continent.
Yep.
But also the fact that it's so resource heavy.
Right.
I think that the bottom line is here that there are certain collaborations and partners as well for Africa. So China is working with Africa. The future is going to be, there's either the US and Saudi Arabia or our other partners, or it's going to be Africa and China. And so my bet is on Africa and China.
And that's my hope. That's my hope.
Yeah.
And for those who are not familiar with like what's happening right now on ground, there's a fight between the first world powers, like whether it's the Western side with the U.S. and China fighting over who's going to control certain parts of the continent. And my hope is that we get to a point where we're self-regulated, but also work with partners where we make that determination of like what the agreement is going to be if you're going to be in our continent doing things in our different countries.
Yes.
Like we sort of get the benefit rather than the short stick, and that's been an issue, globally. So my hope is when it comes to from a tech standpoint, data centers that are being built, they're being built with ethical considerations. Like you just don't build like random data centers and don't have any sort of guidance around why you're doing that or how you're doing that, and then people don't have a say into it. Because that's happening now. If you look at what's happening in the continent now, there are Metas and Googles and all those other places, Fangorgs are going to the continent and building these data centers.
Yeah.
But are the people being compensated for it? And then who controls the data that's there?
There we go.
So there's a whole lot of other parameters around it that I'm really concerned about. But anyway.
No, I love this conversation. I'm so glad you said this because it's so important. And I think it comes down to ownership.
Yeah.
So I have to say, with all of the investments in Africa, this is giving the next generation a huge opportunity to learn, but also, of course, the destructive potential of this.
Right.
So one thing that China does best, for example, is natural energy, sustainability. And so we all know this massive surface area, the huge potential for that. Africa can basically run the world. It will run the world one of these days, I believe. And so it's just going to take all of us to step up. And I do have an idea on how that can be done, specifically with data centers, because and it's tied to the most abundant resources. China knows this. However, we can talk about that.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You brought it up.
Okay. As the most resource heavy continent, bottom line is, I'm going to keep it brief. They have the resources and tools that are going to help build these advanced technology systems. So we know with all these chips, it's either like diamonds or, alternative, resources. So we'll leave it at that. But I do say that the reason why Africa is going to win is because of it. We're talking Wakanda forever.
Yeah.
Real life.
There was, I forget which country it is. I'm forgetting which country it is. Oh my God. It'll probably come to me, but there's a country, basically the material that's used to build like iPhones and things like that. It's really abundant. I don't know if it's Angola or I forget where it is. Do you know?
I'm not sure like where, but yeah.
But there's an abundance of that in West Africa and I think other parts of like Central Africa as well. But there's one country specifically that basically was changing like the conditions or terms in which like these, I think it was China that's mining, and they're changing terms, and that to me is what I love seeing. Is like you get to determine what terms it is that these outsiders are coming in to utilize their resources.
That's right.
But the other part of it is what I'm hoping is that, unfortunately, this is the bad part of Africa that everybody knows. There's a lot of corruption in the continent, and not just Africa, everywhere. But unfortunately, there's a lot of corruption to the point where there hasn't been a lot of benefit to the people that are there. So, like, let's say you're building road infrastructure, right? And here, 20% of that may go towards like people's pockets or whatever it is, as lump sum. But in Africa, a lot of it, it's like 80% will go to people's pockets and 20% actually goes to infrastructure. And this is throughout the continent, like many different parts.
Right.
My hope is like with people being smarter through the use of AI and being more educated, they can kind of like get the, cloak or thing pull from their eyes, the veil, if that's what you want to use, pull from their eyes. And my hope is that with more people being educated, then they'll be able to take their own, what's the word? Destinies. They take control of their destinies. So that's my hope,
Yes, mine too. Mine too. I believe it. I believe it. It will happen.
Yeah,
it will
awesome.
happen.
Have you been to the continent?
No, but you know what?
You
Definitely,
gotta go.
I know, right? I did a little DNA test. So I'm a little bit Nigerian, so
Okay. I feel like everybody says that.
I know,
think
right?
there's some sort of like thing with these ancestry tests, man. Everybody's like Nigerian, bro. Come on.
No, seriously though.
But I do get it, like from the triangle trade and whatnot. I get it because most of the coasters, folks are been driven from that area. But
Right.
I feel like everybody's like Nigerian. But
Seriously though.
we gotta get a difference, man. Come on, man. You got Sierra Leoneans, you got Ivory Coast. I mean, come on, man. You got so many others.
Literally.
Cool. What do you think about going if you do go? Nigeria?
Hey, Nigeria. But you know what? You know what's on the bucket list? Like Egypt. Soon as I don't want to go myself, obviously. But Egypt first thing. I'm scared of being kidnapped.
It's not that. Yeah.
I would be kidnapped. I'm afraid of being kidnapped. So I have to go with somebody being strong, I guess.
Where have you traveled?
So like overseas, overseas, Paris, Paris, France. I also went to Venice, Italy. And those are like the main places out of the country. And other than like South America, Colombia, Peru, Costa Rica.
You've been to all those places?
Yes.
By yourself?
No, I always with, some fam.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, I was about to say, if you went to those places by yourself, you're going to be golden.
Yeah.
The reason I said that also because there are parts of like, every country that's, I wouldn't recommend, but like if you're going to like Egypt and I haven't been to Egypt, so I can't really for sure say that, but if you go to like Sierra Leone, if you go to Ghana, those places, you're more than good by yourself. Yeah, you're gonna enjoy it. I'm not saying go there by yourself. Yeah. If you go there the first time, you like it, like take a deep dive into it. You'll love it. Cool. All right, let's continue on to your story. So your first job, that went well. And did you leave?
Leave.
Your first gig that you were a consultant, right?
Yeah, so start off with PwC, then the stealth mode startup, and then to independent.
Stealth mode.
Stealth mode, yeah.
You left stealth mode, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what happened after stealth mode?
At stealth mode, straight independent consultant. So technically, after PwC, officially my title was like, okay, now I'm an independent consultant to advise, the startup itself. But now it's more so like independent, like high level projects. So like the startup, we all know how that is. It's high autonomy.
Okay.
Fast paced.
Okay.
Those were experiences that were very necessary for me to be able to think bigger.
Okay. And when did you realize that you wanted to kind of do that on your own?
Well, I've always been passionate about trying to make a difference in the world. And it's gonna sound corny, but like my mission and goal would be to like make the world a better place. And so I saw how technology could do that in many different ways, not just by like, maximizing efficiency, reducing cost, but also like saving time,
definitely.
So eventually the goal would be to be chilling on the beach in Bora Bora while all these automations are running. But I love to be able to show my clients and individuals solutions on how they can make their lives better with this technology. So technology for good, that's what we're here for.
That's dope. Long term, where do you see like yourself with like your career path?
So as a startup founder, I would have to say that I would love to be able to one day, compete with the Metas of the world to provide, like we said, technology for good instead of technology just trying to take your data. But as an AI solutions consultant, my goal would also be to make impact at a higher level. So like right now, just like reaching out to different governments, because let's be real, the dismantling of the Department of Education and so many other programs, it's not giving the future generation or anybody a chance to survive or thrive. And so I see the need. And so kind of coming in to say, okay, this is how we're preparing for AI readiness and just like taking that leap of faith.
Yeah. Okay. That's dope. All right, let's talk a bit about the glasses. When did you start building these? And
I'll go ahead and put them on. All right, you guys. So these are the Better Boost Smart Tech glasses. Okay, we call it Super Tech specifically. So the reason why we call it Super Tech is because Shaquille O'Neal is one of our Founders Club members. And of course, Shaquille O'Neal, a basketball player. As you guys probably already know, he's also known as Superman. And so how that connection originally started, so I literally just reached out to him, DM'd him with my pitch deck.
Okay.
And then he got back to me and was like, yeah, I want some of the products. He ordered 4 of our products. I'm not going to get into those details.
Yeah.
However, bottom line is this is Super Tech. So what this does is smart translation, AI navigation, so you'll never ever get lost again, an AI assistant, and of course the prompting feature. So this means that if you have a speech, if you are a content creator, then no one's going to be able to tell that you're actually utilizing these glasses.
Yeah.
So our goal would be to provide this technology to the people that need it most. So there's a lot of problems, for example, in the healthcare space, to where there are experts that don't necessarily speak the language. They rely on spending a lot of money on individuals that are going to be translators or programs, etc.
Yeah.
And so this would come in as the ultimate solution, not just for the individual, but also potentially to scale at a bigger, higher level as well.
Gotcha. Is there offline mode? Because I know the data has to be read from somewhere. Is there offline mode where, because I'm thinking you have to have internet in order to be able to use it.
Actually don't.
You don't?
No.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, you need your phone, but
Okay.
no
Okay.
internet.
Wow.
Cool.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. I'm actually curious, like in terms of like how it's getting the data. That's dope. Okay.
Yes. So I'll have to say that like the world is very divided. We all know it, we all see it, but we all have to come together. So how I did this would not have been possible. Right? As you guys may or may not know, I speak 9 different languages.
Oh, I did not know that.
I speak 9 different languages. I'm not talking 100% fluent, just a little conversational. And so I essentially use that skill to be able to communicate, connect one-to-one with individuals who are actually building the best of the best technology. So we're able to get this in the hands of the people who truly do need it.
Yeah, that's awesome. What languages is it able to translate right now?
So this does off the top of my head, I'm gonna try and list all of them. It's 12 different languages.
Okay.
Russian, obviously English, Russian, Chinese, Thai, German, not Arabic. Hey, I'm blanking on it. I can pull it up.
No worries.
But it's a list of 12.
Okay. And then if somebody wants to add like more languages, like, because I'm thinking there's so many, of course, different dialects and the continent, of course. I'm always trying to refer back to the continent. What's the process? Like, let's say I wanted to add like, or I'm not Nigerian, but let's say somebody that is Nigerian wants to add Yoruba or something like that. And how would that be done?
So the engineers, they will be able to essentially program the glasses and integrate it. Of course, it's going to take some time to be able to analyze the data sets, but that's all it's going to take. I would have to say that like the engineers that I do work with are absolutely exceptional. And I would say that like as far as timeline go, they'd probably be able to get it done. And I would say like a couple months.
Okay. Oh, that's dope. Yeah, because the reason I ask is 'cause I would definitely love to get these glasses. I'm going to Czech Republic. Don't ask me why, but I'm going to Czech Republic and UK in a couple weeks. And by the time you guys probably watch this, I'll be there back. But the reason I'm asking is because getting other languages, like it would be dope to be able to collaborate and partner with you. Like let's say some investor, because we do have actually got an investor's coming on the pod in this is about to be August, in about 3 weeks now. And they're an angel investor. If they wanted to get their language programmed into the glasses, what would it take? And so that timeline. So that's the reason I was asking about that.
Oh yeah. Well, honestly, like honored to hear that. And so I'm also glad that you love the glasses.
Yeah.
So
so you did get
try.
Yeah, I tried them out. The glasses are dope. I did. I looked at the navigation, the translator. What was the other things? The music. My fingers are like so bulky. Like I got to get used to it. It's like using like the smart mouse and stuff like that to be able to move around. But yeah, it was dope.
It does take some time to get to, but there is like a little swipe pad here. I mean, you can turn it on and everything. But this is the future interface. So as we all know, the Googles and the Metas, they're delaying this technology till next year, 2027.
Gotcha.
So we're going to be dropping these, publicly publicly, very, very soon. Right now, it's just closed off to a few select Founders Club members.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you have a timeline?
So the goal to open it up like to the public, and this is going to be more so like for industry.
Okay.
So as soon as next month.
Okay. That's dope. That's really dope. Okay. So the glasses, are you able to say the price right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So our Founders Club price is exclusive. However, for the public, this is going to be $749.
Okay. Dope. Now, compared to other glasses that the AR, VR, because you guys have probably watched other episodes, this is a deal. This is definitely a deal, and especially cutting edge. In terms of like iterating to like V2, V3, and all the other stuff, how do you guys plan on doing that? Have you guys thought about that yet?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. There's so many cool upgrades that are coming, you guys. So for these glasses, the bottom line is we want to make it as seamless as possible.
Yeah.
So for example, our prompting feature, you can either use it on your phone and you can time it so it's pretty natural. However, we're eventually going to be incorporating rings, for example, that you can wear to make it truly seamless and effortless for you. And then, of course, upgrading the technology to where you don't need to spend $25,000 for the Meta Orion glasses. We're going to have a pair that can do everything for you. You can plug and play or not for Bluetooth to watch a video, and that would be pretty cool.
Oh, the Meta glasses, 25K?
Yeah, 25,000. The Orion glasses specifically.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
25,000. Yeah.
Jeez, yeah, no, that's pricey.
Yeah.
Okay. So going for upgrade wise, do you upgrade through because it's an app on the phone.
Yeah.
But so when you do upgrade, would you have to upgrade the glass as well? The what do you call it? The actual hardware itself, or is it just gonna be a software upgrade? Or both?
Both.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Trying to think any other questions people may wonder. Anything I missed that you wanna add on?
So I'd say that the overall impact of these glasses is, it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
However, I will say that the technology is truly for good. So we're not out here to, take your data like Meta is. We're truly out here to empower you. So these are engineered to make your life better, hence Better Boost. So this is just the beginning. We're starting off, of course, with our super tech devices, and then we're going to be continuously evolving into more advanced technology. And our goal is to become the most advanced wearable technology startup ever.
Dope. That's dope. Who are your top competitors right now?
Meta and Google, and their devices haven't even come out yet.
Gotcha. So. Okay. You guys good.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, cool. So any more Naruto / like anime stuff that you're gonna be doing like with like your glasses or with like work or anything like that? Because I think that to me is the cool part.
Oh yeah. So Batabayo.
Yeah.
I love Naruto and anime. I actually want to backtrack to the competitors real quick because I just thought of a few. So like so beyond like Meta and Google, there is like 11 Labs. You may have seen those are like the more circular pair.
Okay.
Fun fact, you guys, these aren't even available in the US yet. These are the only glasses that have both audio and the augmented reality feature. So these are the only ones that have both. Most of them, they just have one feature.
Actually just made me think of another question. Were these glasses manufactured?
Where?
Yeah.
So that's confidential. However, all around the world.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. The reason I was asking because like shipping and all that other stuff, but
yeah.
Okay. All
yeah.
right. Cool. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I can't ask too many questions. All right. Okay. And I was going towards like the anime piece because I think who's it? Rex. Rex does AR VR and he has I don't know if you guys follow each other. He was on the on my stories a couple times.
Yeah, of course.
So he builds games and stuff off of his. So is that a thing that you guys are going to be doing, like building games into the glasses, or is it just more educational?
Games are super cool. I also have like my two other devices.
Gotcha.
So this is just like, these are the augmented reality features for like smart translation, etc. But we also have like the plug and play where it's like a screen and then like a different design for these.
Gotcha.
So yes, absolutely. You want to be able to integrate all types of interfaces.
Nice.
I will also say that with these particular glasses, so like a lot of us, we're coding and we need to, easily, we're using multiple screens. So this, for example, like you could ask it, write me the code for tic-tac-toe game. it's going to generate it for you with the AI assistant feature. You can just, instead of having to, rely on anything else, straight type it out. Okay. So yeah, we're continuously iterating and evolving, and we're trying to, be better.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope. And are you guys, what do you call it? VC? Are you guys taking seed funding or anything like that right now?
This is a great question. I love this question. Our goal is 100% ownership.
Okay.
And the person who taught me this actually was Shaquille O'Neal himself. Okay. So I met him like once before, a couple years back. Yeah. And so I asked him, like, instead of asking for like a picture or anything, I asked him, what's the secret to success, Shaquille O'Neal? Yeah. And he said, ownership. And so ever since then, that's always been the priority. So full transparency, it's been bootstrapped since the beginning. And as far as like venture capitalist dollars, our goal is to more so build partnerships. Okay. So yeah, that's the bottom line. 100% ownership. That's the goal.
Okay, so you'll take money, but just not for shares. Shares, but not for ownership.
Pretty much.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right.
As long as we can help it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What do you think is next in terms of like for the team? Because I know you guys are building the glasses. Is there any other sort of products that you guys are looking at as well?
Oh man, there's so much technology that's out there. And I think the next step is going to be for healthcare. Okay. So like these can be used for the healthcare industry for the smart translation feature, obviously. Nice. But imagine, so we all know how Trump has also removed us from the World Health Organization. So this means that we're going to have to empower personalized decisions in healthcare in many different ways. So like they have the smart rings. What we're waiting on is, we have to make sure that it's approved. And so essentially that should be done by the end of this year. Okay. So like medically approved rings that we can wear that's going to be able to monitor comprehensive health, your heart rate, menstrual for the ladies.
Like a ring like this size?
Just like that, that actually. Okay. So all of that. So that's kind of the beginning, but we also imagine like being able to, wearable technology, there's no limits to it. Yeah, so we can imagine, being able to wear different devices that can truly allow us to be healthier and happier. Yeah. And I do have to say that melanin has a lot of power. And spoke about it very briefly. However, melanin is also electrically conductive. And so if we can imagine a future of, electronically superpowered individuals.
I've seen those on your,
I know.
On your stories before.
Yeah. And it sounds crazy, you guys, but the goal would be to truly empower, everyone. Yeah. So, yeah.
Dope. Okay. All right. Let's, I guess, talk less techie. Outside of like 9 to 5 and the nerding stuff, like what do you do to kind of keep work-life balance?
Well, I like what brings me passion, low key, is working. So like if I'm not like directly producing a deliverable for a client, what I'll do is just continuously learn. Okay. So everything's changing, and I want to make sure that I'm able to stay ahead of the game and also be able to advise my clients on staying ahead of the game as well. Gotcha. So that's going to take predictive power to be able to see ahead. Yeah. And so I would say that that's probably like the main core focus of just like, okay, well, let me try and learn as much as I can about the world and what's going on. Gotcha. Because artificial intelligence, we're going to need to, the good news is that what it does best is produce solutions. I mean, we're talking curing ailments and diseases. Yeah. But also we're going to need to discuss how it isn't going to, destroy humanity, or to where like the top 1% or monopolies are the only ones that are actually able to properly have a thriving life of wellness and happiness.
For sure. Okay. Any last words for the guests or folks who are watching?
You guys, there's no better time to be alive. So if you're thinking about getting into tech, definitely do not hesitate to take the steps to upskill and learn, but also to build artificially intelligent backed businesses as well. So there's no hesitation, and you can do it. So if you also want to connect with me either on LinkedIn or Instagram, on Instagram, I'm at TheGardenofAsh, and on LinkedIn, you can find me at Ashley Robinson, PWC, and I should pop up in a red dress. So I want to connect with global leaders and people who are truly, building great things. So would love to hear from you.
Awesome. Where did you get the Garden of Ash? Is that like a thing?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of like, I guess I was into esoteric for a while.
Okay.
And so it's like the Garden of Eden and like the Garden of Ash. I guess it just kind of flowed.
Gotcha.
I don't even know.
Okay. Yeah, for the longest, I was like, oh, Ashley Gardner. That's your last name. I'm like, and then you're like, oh yeah, my name is Ashley Robinson, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, Ashley, who? I was like, bro, where?
Yeah.
That's dope. Well, Ash, this has been really fun. We didn't get the Naruto headbands, but next time she comes on the pod,
Yes.
definitely gonna do the headbands.
Indeed.
Yeah. So we'll have your Instagram handles and all that stuff wherever you guys are watching this. So
Yes.
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you're watching this, we'll have Ash's information. Definitely connect with her. I'm definitely gonna get the glasses.
Yes.
So be interested to give you guys my review on it. I already like it, so I'm looking forward to seeing how it is when I actually own it. So
Yes.
Ash, thank you again. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Honor and pleasure. Thank you. That's about you.
All right, fam. My name is Saul Levy. This is Africans in Tech, where we're building bridges and shaping futures in tech. All right, fam. Peace. Hey, what up, fam? This is Saul Levy, host of Africans in Tech, where we're building bridges and shaping futures in tech. Just a quick reminder for those who've not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. You can catch all of our content, including our whiteboard sessions, where you'll find our full-length videos on our channel. And hit that notification bell, fam. All right?